Hi, I'm Liv with a Girl's Guide to Cars, and today we're going to take a look at the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 XRT and the refreshed Ioniq 5. I'm standing here in front of the XRT Hyundai Ioniq 5, and we are literally at the start of a dirt course in the middle of this sort of rally track, because that's what this is. This is the off-road version of the famous Hyundai Ioniq 5, the award-winning vehicle that so many of us love. Now this brings you way more opportunities to play off-road in sand, in mud, in snow, all of that good stuff. So let's take a look right here at some of the differences in the XRT before we hop on this little track here. As you can see, we have the tow hooks, just in case you get in a little trouble. There's a jet going overhead, so hopefully you can't hear that. But also over here, we have Hyundai's parametric pixeling. This is their trademark sort of design that they put on all their Ioniq 5s, and it's shown here on the XRT in a really rugged form, because that's what they're going for, super rugged. And while we're down there, we're gonna make camera person Patrick come up close, because you also have this sweet parametric pixelated cladding. So this is XRT cladding, a little bit more protection, because you're gonna kick up dirt and mud and rocks and all that good stuff. And by the way, this paint color is cyber gray metallic, but there are also two new colors that you can get in the Ioniq 5 lineup. So looks pretty sweet, but let's take a little peek around here as well, show you all of the cladding that you get. You also get these sweet wheels, which have an echoing of that whole pixelated design here in the sort of square shape. More of that cladding. And by the way, this pixelated cladding is like kind of like reflects the light in different ways, so it doesn't look flat camo. It looks really interesting. It's probably hard to see. If you can believe it, this thing has been loved and dusted up, and I've taken it bouncing around in the dirt, but you can kind of barely tell with this color, which is really, really cool. More of that cladding. Here's more of that dirt along here. And let me show you the inside, where some of the coolness is too. So right here in the door, we have XRT and that pixelated design again. And this is beautiful and black and plush, and the textures are really, really cool. And if cameraman Patrick wants to dive on in, you can see that the seats have a bit more bolstering. They're a little bit more rugged looking. They're really comfortable, and they hold you really nicely as you get tossed around and bounced around all over. And if you point at the steering wheel, you can see right there at the bottom, instead of a 2-spoke steering wheel, we have 3 spokes. And at the bottom, you have that terrain mode. And that's what you get with the XRT as well, is the opportunity to jump into a bunch of different terrains. And it's really, really fun. Let's go take a look. This is unbelievably addictive. This is such a fun car to drive. The XRT, I'm just gonna adjust my seat a little bit, but in sand mode, on the sand right here, it's so fun. I feel like I'm in a toy car. Oh my gosh, what a blast. It feels like it's handling so perfectly. All of these bumps and divots and all the rocks, it just feels completely in control the whole time. This is a super fun experience. So the XRT has about 23 millimeters increased height and an improved approach and departure angle. So you can do stuff like take these bumps and divots and everything without worrying too much. And it handles it so well. Going sideways and everything, so fun. And the addition of the terrain modes as well gives you a bunch of options for different suspension, different handling. That's really good for different terrain like this. Woo. It is extremely addictive. I gotta be honest, I wish I had something like this when I was living in Colorado and having to drive in the snow all the time. Would have made my commute much more fun. There are a couple changes with the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5, but to be honest, the biggest ones of them are all right here. I'm standing in front of, firstly, the rear windshield wiper. A lot of you guys wanted this. They didn't have one previously, but now they do. You'll have to let us know, is that the big change, or is it that this is the first non-Tesla vehicle to have a built-in NACS port, which is so cool. So now you'll see these 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5s charging at a supercharger by default with no adapter, but not to worry, you can still charge at a CCS charger with a NACS to CCS adapter, right here, and you can charge with a J1772 to NACS adapter as well. So you could still live the adapter life, or you could live the supercharger life, but that is a really cool update to the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5. I'm brandishing adapters here. Also, while I'm here, I shall indicate with this, there's been updates to the rear fascia, and let's flip to the front. There are also updates to the front fascia here. It's sort of lifted up, projected out a tiny bit, just to give it a sort of a raised presence. And as I brandish these adapters, not to worry, there's a little bitty frunk inside here, so you can shove them in there. Let's check out some of the updates to the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 on the inside. First things first, as you can see, the screen here is trimmed with black now, which I think looks like a really cool upgrade. It was trimmed with white. Now it looks like it's seamlessly integrated. This whole area has been updated. They're really kind of prioritizing buttons and usability. Hyundai is really listening to its users. They truly are, both in the rear windshield wiper and all the updates in here, including some that I'm about to show you. They listen to what you guys want. So don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Comment in this video if there's something that you'd really like to see in the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and actually comment on all our videos if there's anything you'd like to see, because we can make those demands of automakers. We can ask for the best vehicles that we want. So another update that they've done over here is that they've moved the wireless charging pad up here, so it's a little more convenient for you as the driver. You just have your phone sitting right here next to you. We traded in the side-by-side cup holders for front and back, but we get that wireless phone charger right here. And then we have this row of buttons of all the things that you like to use most frequently: ventilated heated seats, parking camera, heated steering wheel, all the stuff that you really want at a finger's reach. And then just things that I absolutely love about this cabin in general. It's so open. The fact that you can adjust the center console as much as you like. At the steering wheel over here, we've traded in the 2-spoke steering wheel design. Now we have a 3-spoke. On the XRT, you do have the terrain button on the bottom. Here we just have the decorative feature, but we have a fully updated steering wheel here that really blends in beautifully with this whole new cabin. These cables right here, forget about them. You don't need them, because the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really awesome. I have something to admit. I absolutely love the Ioniq 5. It drives so wonderfully. The suspension feels great. The pedal feel is awesome. There's a gorgeous heads-up display, and there's a ton of visibility. The way that this cabin is designed, you really have very few blind spots. You got a ton of visibility in the rear view. Obviously we have a camera up there, but you also have a ton of visibility all around you. And a uniqueness of my situation is that I am a right leg amputee. So I drive with my left leg, and I'm crossing my left leg right over right now to drive. And this is a situation that can be extremely uncomfortable sometimes, but in this cabin, it's not. It's super comfortable. There's a ton of room, and I feel great. Ton of room for me to move and flex around. And of course, this is a really unique situation that is kind of particular to me, but perhaps you're someone who would like a little bit more leg room too. Perhaps you're also an amputee, in which case, please let me know. But I actually also prefer 2-pedal. So EVs, a lot of people prefer or like 1 pedal, which is full regen. You just use the accelerator and you pull off the accelerator to brake. I personally enjoy driving just like an ICE vehicle, an internal combustion engine vehicle with an accelerator and a brake. Now, if you prefer one pedal, that's cool. You can adjust it with these paddles on either side of the steering wheel, and then you'll be in regen for whatever your heart's desire. I believe it goes up to 4, so you can have full regen or anything in between. But it's a really, really comfortable drive, and I gotta admit, I love it. Everything is bigger and better on the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5. You have access to the superchargers, and you have access to CCS chargers as well. If you charge at a CCS charger, you get from 10 to 80 in about 20 minutes. If you charge at a supercharger, you get from 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. Both are super fast, super awesome. It's increased battery size as well in these, and you get 2 new colorways. So if you're interested in it, you can get a blue or a red. You have to let me know what your favorite color is, but mine is digital teal. My personal favorite, maybe it has something to do with my hair. Also, all trims of the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 come with a built-in NACS port except for the N. So if you want that, you're going to get the CCS port, but the NACS port will be coming on their future refresh. So thank you so much for joining us for this video in which we checked out the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5, the new and improved, and the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 XRT, new, improved, and off-road. Let us know what you think about it. Be sure to check out my article on agirlsguide.com down below, and we will see you in another video really soon.